Welcome to our latest project. This was a unique challenge. I'm going to have Keith walk you through that.
All right, let's start here in the kitchen. This was the biggest obstacle and the best challenge of the entire project. Presented to us was a style from the 70s that didn't really speak of new contemporary or anything inviting to this market. So what we did was completely change our surfaces, including cabinets, any type of thing that had to be painted, and the things we tried to preserve for the sake of budget were the hard surfaces that would require time and money. For in here, knocking down the cabinets was the biggest visual impact that we could achieve. That is adding a stove hood, changing our stove top, and just literally painting the cabinets and changing the hardware. Things like hardware for our faucets, sconces for the lighting, and then taking care of the old tube lighting insert and changing it with recessed lighting. This all had to be done within a week and a half. So we had to have the crew, the product, and the vision all in line to begin with. Continuing with the changing of our interior architecture was this entry room, the family room. A lot of the details were in the infrastructure that was already presented as wood paneled walls, kind of strong features in the fireplace and all the wood pilasters and surrounding this room. It was not only removing them, but kindly making the aesthetic equal the outside still without making this too contemporary. A lot of the attempt on this remodel was to keep the aesthetic not too diverse from the exterior, but to make it kind of in sync with a still modern, clean aesthetic. A lot of this is covering up with paint and, like I said, removal of our features that were too strong. Repainting the fireplaces, which is considered a faux pas in some of the design world, but in this particular aesthetic, it was needed to kind of give us a cleaner view of this house without it being still the 1970s Bavarian architecture. We transformed the family room into a much more open and diverse uses of space. The area over here had a bar built into it with the mirrored panels on the back, and it just gave, although a fun aesthetic, it didn't really fit into how this space should be used and how it will be viewed as a more contemporized house on this market. So obviously knocking all this out, changing up what we had were tremendous amounts of recessed lights that the previous user had used for whatever reasons, but it wasn't fitting our need for this project. Changing our banisters and pilasters in here and covering up all the beams with a nice paint coat is basically the best way to achieve this look. A lot of this project had some great after effects to this. This one in particular is a really fun transformation. Changing the wall covering really helped change this aesthetic. Not only just making this open and clean, but gave us a little more modern appeal. Changing our light fixtures, mirrors, not making it so wide as it was before, kind of centered our room. The budget didn't have enough for the timing and the dollar amount to change our vanities and the mirrors, etc. So a really nice paint coat really achieved this good look along with the hardware. Changing up our drapery treatments to a clean woven bamboo really kind of modernized this as well, but still kept it on a little traditional aspect of this design. Everything else had to kind of lay into the brass that was always presented to us, because obviously this wasn't going to be changed to keep our budget and timing in line as well. So carried on the brass treatments and gave it really kind of a clean, modern look. And for the primary bathroom, we had to achieve the same result with the same budget and timing. So obviously keeping our countertops and the vanity the same was crucial. I really wanted to change this one as it was a single vanity, but due to time and money, we kept it as this, but I feel like it achieved the look by centering it with nice modern mirror lighting and just basically paint and new hardware. All this was done on a really down budget, and I was really proud of this look. Really putting attention into our primary bedroom was critical, as this was definitely a 1970s primary bedroom. Changing our wall coverings, changing our window treatments, ceiling fans to just a fresh coat of paint all over, really did a lot. Putting this furniture to make it a appropriate scale was definitely critical as well, but this definitely changed, and for a week and a half, I'm really proud of how much this transformed. With a week-long timeline and a small budget, we're very proud about how this turned out.